My name is Jim Denton. I'm a Pearl Harbor survivor. December 7th, 1941, I was electrician mate third class, and I was the duty electrician. I was on the USS Raleigh, a light cruiser CL-7. Everybody has to be somewhere, and I got knocked off the pot. The lights all went out, and being an electrician, I thought the generator blew up. I run forward to the forward engine room, and the duty electrician, Billy DeSue, was coming up out of the engine room, and he was hollering, "We've been torpedoed." And I don't know how he knew it, but we had been torpedoed. The torpedo hit number 2 fire room and burst the bulkhead into number 1 fire room and number 1 engine room, flooding all 3 machinery spaces in just a few minutes. There was one more man down in the engine room, the duty machinist mate. He come up out of the engine room following Billy DeSue. When we saw what was going on, we dogged down all the hatches for the forward engine room and the 2 fire rooms forward, and then we started on the covers on the portholes and dogged them all down, so that the ship, if it started downward, the water couldn't come through the portholes. We were working on that, and they passed the word for all electricians back to the after engine room. So I went running back to the after engine room, and they decided we would get a piece of long cable, go up on the main deck with it from the engine room, and take it all the way forward to the forward power panel that was up in the forward engine room. When we had to disconnect the cable from the power panel coming from the forward engine room and hook the portable cable up that we had pulled up from the after engine room. And I think this is probably the first, or they had a cable running along the decks on the ship. Then after that, we got that squared away, and so I went back to the after ammunition handling room and was helping load bullets for the pom-pom guns they had. They had pom-pom guns, which was a 4-barrel deal, and you loaded a clip on each one at a time. They had 4 men loading clips, and as they went down, the clip left, and another one was put in right away real fast. The fire, of course, it wasn't as good as the machine guns are nowadays. Anyway, after a little while, there wasn't much we could do. The planes had left, and when the second load of planes came in, they dropped a bomb on us on the fantail, and it went right on through the ship and exploded underneath us. But on the way down, it hit an oil pipe down there and flooded all the living spaces in the after ship area back there. We were lucky. Electricians and machinist mates all had a bucket, which they kept one suit of clothes, and they wore the other suit. if it was dungarees or whatnot, and then when they had another change of clothes. Most of the other people didn't have anything done if they were in them spaces. Then, after the second wave, they set us all ashore over on Ford Island. And of course, we were hearing all the stories about the Japs were landing here and Japs were doing that. And of course, everything was all hearsay. And about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the ladies that lived on Ford Island, officers' wives, started bringing us out sandwiches and whatnot. And about 5 o'clock in the evening, they took us all aboard the Dobbin, which is a destroyer tender, which is tied up not very far away from where we were. We stayed aboard there until the next morning. They told us to find some place to sleep up on deck, and of course it was warm, and so we didn't need anything to cover up with or anything. We were up there, and about 8 o'clock, or all the guns started shooting again, and they were all passing the word, ceasefire, ceasefire, and our own planes were coming in from. They had a bunch of bombers coming in that they were going out to Wake Island, and so they were coming in, and that's what we were shooting at. Well, the next morning they took us all back to the ship, and they had a little tugboat alongside of us, and my good friend Don Raymond, who lives in Sandy, he was aboard the tugboat, but I didn't know him till I moved up here. And anyway, the tug had electricity, so we got 15 amps of electricity from the tugboat, and which was just enough for emergency lighting and whatnot. And one of the officers wanted toast, and so I was still the duty electrician, and the chief told me, "You go up and explain to the officer why they can't have toast." And so I had to go up and tell the officer why he couldn't have any toast. And then we decided to lighten the ship, and they had false overheads like you got on the buildings now, with all your electric wiring and everything is up above. And we were unbolting all the false overheads, getting it all down, getting all the metal off the ship, and working with that. And the chief told us that if there was any cable up there that was not being used, to pull it down and cut it off and take it out. And I says, how are we going to know if it's not used? He said, well, if you can pull on a cable and get it down to the deck, it's not being used. Just go ahead, cut it, and then finish getting it out of there. So, wouldn't you know, we pulled it down, cut it, it wouldn't move. We cut the running lights for the back, and we didn't get running lights until we got back into Mare Island for repair in January. Anyway, that was pretty much what happened in Pearl Harbor for us.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. The Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air, President Roosevelt has just announced. The attack also was made on all naval and military activities on the principal island of Oahu. We take you now to Washington.
Details are not available. They will be in a few minutes. The White House is now giving out a statement.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.